The sun was dipping below the horizon as I pulled into my driveway, the familiar rumble of my 2018 Harley Davidson Sun Street Bob absent for the first time in years. My heart sank as I stared at the empty spot where my pride and joy should have been. I'm Tom Harris, a retired Marine with 22 years of service, and that bike wasn't just a vehicle, it was my therapy, my freedom after decades of war zones and rigid orders. I'd settled in Pinewood Estates 5 years ago, drawn to its quiet streets and friendly neighbors. But tonight, my sanctuary had been violate. Checking my security footage, I saw the truth: a tow truck hauling my Harley away under the watchful eye of our HOA president, Evelyn Carter. Her smug expression as she directed the driver burned into my mind. This wasn't about noise or rules, it was personal. 2 weeks ago, I challenged her at an HOA meeting, citing bylaws to block her unilateral 15-fan tram security fee hike. She dismissed me, sneering about my military mindset being too rigid for her premier community. Now my bike was gone, towed without warning from my own property. I wasn't just any rider, though. I led the county's largest veterans motorcycle club, and Evelyn had no idea the storm she'd unleashed. Pinewood had been my dream retirement spot. I'd saved for years to buy this house, and the Harley was my reward, a sleek black beast that melted away the stress of combat memories with every ride. The neighborhood was perfect at first: families, retirees, even a few fellow vets who'd swap stories over beers. I kept my bike pristine, rode only during reasonable hours, and organized charity rides for the local children's hospital. The old HOA board sensible folks like a retired teacher and a civil engineer and things fairly. Then Evelyn swept in last year, a former corporate exec with a hunger for control. She promised to elevate Pinewood, but her changes were oppressive: rigid landscaping rules, paint color restrictions, even pre-approved Christmas decorations. Fees skyrocketed, and dissenters faced her wrath. Our first clash came at that meeting. I stood up, bylaws in hand, and called out her fee hike as illegal without a homeowner vote. The room went quiet, a few nodded in support. Evelyn's smile vanished. Some residents don't grasp the complexities of governance, she snapped, her jab at my service stinging like a slap. I stayed calm. Marines don't crack under provocation, but I knew I'd made an enemy. My neighbor, Mike, a retired Army sergeant, won me days later. Evelyn doesn't forgive, he said. She targeted a guy on Elm Street for questioning her. Denied his deck permit 3 times until he moved. I installed high-def security cameras that week, a Marine's instinct to secure the perimeter. 9 days after the meeting, a warning letter appeared under my windshield wiper. Noise violation, excessive motorcycle noise. It claimed multiple neighbor complaints about disruptive riding hours. I was baffled. I never rode before 9 a.m. or after 7 p.m., and neighbors like Mrs. Thompson, a widow across the street, loved hearing my bike. It reminded her of her late husband's. I went door to door, asking if my Harley bothered anyone. Every neighbor was shocked. Your bike? Quieter than those lawnmowers Evelyn hired, said Jerry 3 houses down. I bought a decibel meter, recorded my bike's sound levels 86 decibels at normal operation, well under the county's 90 decibel limit, and compiled a report with neighbor statements. At the next HOA meeting, I presented my EVY Denke, charts, readings, and signed letters pro-VYing no violations. 2 board members, Lisa Nguyen and Paul Rivera, were visibly surprised. This is within guidelines, Lisa said. Evelyn's lips tightened. We'll take it under advisement, she muttered, rushing to the next agenda item. I demanded a formal dismissal of the complaint. After murmurs of support from the crowd, the board voted 3-2 to drop it, Evelyn and her ally, Treasurer Mark Evans, dissenting. Lisa caught me in the parking lot afterward, glancing around nervously. Be careful, Tom. This isn't about noise. Evelyn targets anyone who challenges her. She listed others: the Wilsons, hit with fence violations after questioning a landscaping contract; Mrs. Lopez, fined for garden sculptures after probing reserve funds. It's legal enough that no one fights it, Lisa sighed. Most cave to avoid the hassle. 2 days later, I got a letter confirming the complaint's dismissal, a small win, but I sensed Evelyn wasn't done. Then I overheard her in the clubhouse parking lot, talking to Mark. He needs to learn who's in charge, she hissed. This isn't the Marines. Find something else, property violations, anything. I slipped away, her words confirming this was about power, not rules. 3 weeks later, a new, emergency, noise ordinance appeared on community bulletin boards and in emails. It banned motorcycle riding outside 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Weekdays, set a 75 decibel limit below many cars and threatened to law 250 fines, escalating to vehicle removal. Bylaws required 48 hours notice and a full board vote for emergency measures, but I'd received no meeting notice. I called Paul, who was stunned. No vote happened, he said. Evelyn claims executive authority from some county rule. My cameras caught her measuring noise by my bike while I was out, ignoring other vehicles. Worse, my doorbell camera recorded a figure limping like Evelyn's husband, Greg, tampering with my mailbox, swapping HOA notices for junk mail. I reported it to the post office, which confirmed undelivered HOA notices. I installed a locking mailbox and drafted a petition, getting 70 fan tram of neighbors to sign against the ordinance. At a community barbecue, I overheard Evelyn telling new residents, "Some lifestyles don't fit our hierarchy. Property values depend on the right buyers." Her eyes locked on mine, her meaning clear. Then came June 14th. I returned from volunteering at the Veterans Center to find my Harley gone. The tow truck was still on my street, my bike strapped to it. The driver shrugged. HOA orders noise violations. My footage showed Evelyn super VYing, smirking as my bike was taken. I confronted her at her house, my composure barely holding. 6 violations this week, she yelled. Impossible, I shot back. I was citing my daughter 4 of those days. She faltered, then smirked. Notices were sent. Pay $500 plus $100 daily storage at Carter's Towing. The company name her brother-in-law's was no coincidence. That night, I called my club, the Veterans Steel Brotherhood. 28 vets lawyers, a former cop, a councilman gathered in my yard. This isn't just my fight, I said. Evelyn's targeting dissenters. Our lawyer, Sarah, listed Evelyn's violations: no notice, improper towing, conflict of interest. We uncovered more, 5 other motorcycles in Pinewood, none cited. The ordinance wasn't filed with the county, and a recording from HOA offices where Evelyn said, "Make an example of him, and the rest will comply." We learned 6 homeowners had sold under pressure after challenging her, 3 properties bought by her husband's shell companies. This was a scheme for profit and control. We rallied 42 homeowners at the VFW hall. Paul and Lisa revealed falsified board approvals, and Evelyn's claim that democracy is inefficient. With County Commissioner Laura Hayes' support, we accessed HOA finances, exposing kickbacks. For the next HOA meeting, we planned a show of force: 50 motorcycles riding in legally, parking respectfully, to show unity. Thursday evening, 53 bikes, Harleys, Triumphs, vintage models lined up, ridden by vets, cops, a judge, a minister. We rode in formation, engines low, to the community center. Inside, the room was packed, triple the usual crowd clutching our EVY Denke packets. Evelyn tried limiting comments to 1 minute, but I cited bylaws for 5. We blocked her rushed agenda, insisting on procedure. During my presentation, I showed her violations, then played her recorded words. Make an example of him. People who make waves don't belong. Her face paled. as she claimed it was. Out of context. 30 more riders arrived, their headlights sweeping the lot. Evelyn tried adjourning, citing a motorcycle gang. These are veterans and leaders, Mike roared, as our second-wave vets, first responders entered silently. One by one, they spoke of fairness and accountability. Our security head, Brian, in uniform, confirmed no threat existed. Then Ellen Brooks, a retired principal, stood. Section 8.3 allows an emergency recall vote for bylaw violations, she declared, citing 17 infractions. The vote was swift, 103-9 to remove Evelyn and her allies. She screamed about invalidity, but our cameras and Commissioner Hayes confirmed legality. A transition committee cancelled fines, terminated Carter's towing, and set elections. Evelyn whispered a final threat. You'll regret this. But her power was gone. The county investigated, uncovering her property scheme and kickbacks. Local news ran the story. HOA ousted for targeting veterans. A new board passed a homeowner bill of rights, transparent finances, and competitive bidding. We held a charity ride, raising $12,000 for the VA. Evelyn and Greg fled to HOA-free condos. My Harley sits proudly in my driveway, joined by Mike's new bike. One-toed motorcycle sparked a revolution, pro-VYing that standing up to bullies protects everyone.
If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.